Oh my good Lord. This thing is absolutely amazing. I'm going to take a quick moment to just share this in a couple groups on Facebook, so bear with me. I'm going to save what I have there because it's super sick, and I'm going to load up one of my older projects while I do this sharing so you can hear some other beats going while I do the technical stuff. So let's go to master, file, open. Instead of sharing my own, I'll just play one of their demo ones because there's some pretty cool ones in here. Let's load one up. How's everybody doing out there in the internet world? Say hey in the chat and I'll see it come up in my stream over here. I'm going to try my best to make this pretty direct, just kind of running over some features, and then I'm going to do some jams if you're into that. So this should be all loaded up. Song, sweet, play song. Yeah, I'll just leave the song because all the songs are pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I'm also live on Twitch if you guys want to go check it out over there. The link should be scrolling on the screen. This is one of the little built-in jams. Almost done. Sweet little jam. I think it kicks in right about now. Right. Alrighty. There we go. How far are we through this song? Almost done. Really cute, right? So yeah, there's it's like 20 built-in songs. There was a couple of tracks from the previous owner. All of it was really terrible, so I deleted it. But yeah, I bought this baby used. They're all sold out on their website. I got it on Reverb for 100 off of list, and it has a big dent in the corner on the bottom. Somebody clearly dropped it on the ground, but it's made out of solid aluminum. So it's not too much worse for the wear. I think that's it. That's it. All right, so we're going to start fresh, and just want to introduce myself. I am Mike Flex at 7 Studios, aka the number 7, and I am so excited to explore the Polyend tracker and show you guys what it's all about. I've been on the fence about picking this thing up for, I don't know, 6 months or more, between this, the Synthstrom Deluge, and the Akai Force. I'm just really into standalone sequencers that kind of take you out of the computer and let you just, go to town. And part of the reason I was on the fence and not just completely sold on this thing is it kind of has these clicky buttons. And I wasn't sure how I was going to like that. And it turns out I absolutely love it. It's so tactile, and I really don't miss anything. Now, this is like the weirdest little grid I've ever seen. It's 12 wide. And, so like in my head, I think that it would want to be 16 wide so you could do like sequences on it, or at least 8 wide or something, but they went with 12, and it actually works out well for doing scales and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways to use the stuff on here, and they're constantly updating the firmware. So I'm going to start a new track by going File, New Project, and it starts a new one. One of the really cool features that I love about this thing, you can do save as, and you can do auto name, and it'll just come up with all of these randomly generated song names. So Gentle Cows, Puffy Plot, Waggish Tank, Fold Wall, Harmonious Monkey. It's just so awesome. So I won't worry about that right now, but I did just want to show that real quick. So the entire system is built on an old Amiga form of writing music called a tracker, which you can adjust it to be horizontal, but the classic way is vertical, which can be a little confusing if you're coming from like any classic DAW, but it actually like fades away really quick and becomes super intuitive. So I do really like it, and even just with a couple days with it, I'm already like loving what it can do, and just the ease of getting effects that would be a lot more challenging on traditional DAWs. You can just go crazy and putting random chaos in. And one of the really interesting things that I noticed right away is that over here, everything's kind of navigated with this really big aluminum knob. And if you hold down song and turn the knob, you can change your tempo. And it can go to in normal tempo ranges, but it also goes really high, 600 BPM, because a lot of kind of tracker music is in the drum and bass and jungle vibe, and there's something called breakcore. This is basically a breakcore machine. If you can believe that there is a physical breakcore machine, they did it, and it's called the Polyend tracker. So I will just start making a little beat on it to show some of the features, and then I'm going to load up some of the songs I've already made. And then I'll just go crazy making some beats. Of course, say hey in the chat. I'll see it come up over on my little multi-stream here in Streamlabs. And you can follow me on Twitch. That's obviously where the higher quality of this will be. Yo, what's up, Taylor, dude? Yeah, you would absolutely love playing around with this thing. I guarantee you. It takes just like a little bit of getting used to, but it comes like super naturally. So there's 8 tracks, and each track has these 4 colored buttons on it, which is a note, which instrument it's playing, which is a sample, and that can be either a granular synthesizer, it can be a wavetable synthesizer, or it can be any sample that you load up, either ones that it came with, ones that you upload to it. And the absolutely most absurd feature of this, awesome, I'll see you on Twitch. So the best feature of this, and the reason why I could not get it out of my mind as something I knew I wanted to pick up, is it has an FM radio built into it. So as simple as me just hitting this button here, sample recorder, it already is going to give me the ability to load up. Oh, nice. Awesome. Thanks for the follow, man. Really appreciate that. I'll follow you back if I don't already follow you. So this is the radio, and I can try to find something, or I can use a seek, and it'll find a station, and you can sample from this immediately. So I'll probably, if I stay on anything musically too long, I'll probably get the stream pulled for just, copyright or whatever. So I'll try to find talking or something more basic. Yeah.
Princeton and playing hockey.
So I'll find these talk radio things, and I'll just hit record, right?
Yeah, we thought it was hockey. I asked you. She's playing soccer, though.
That's right.
So, okay, so now it's already grabbed that, and I can preview it.
We thought it was hockey.
And the in and out points, really easy. You just hold down one of these 8 buttons. They're really dark, but because of my camera lighting situation. Yo, what up, dude? Thanks for joining. So these buttons are very hard to see, but they're just like the rest of the buttons here. They're just solid black, and they let you control whatever's at the bottom of the screen, or if you're in the mixer, they let you quick mute things and things of that nature. So if I hold the start point and I move it here, I can still be tapping preview.
Thought it was hockey. Yeah, I asked you. She's playing soccer, though. She's playing soccer, though.
That's right.
Playing soccer, though. Playing soccer, though. Soccer, though. Soccer, though. Soccer, though.
So I can, just chop out one bit if I want. So that's one of the ways that you can use it, but it actually saves this entire clip, and it'll just be telling it to play this, in and out point, but you can also slice it up, which is really, really cool. Yeah, I feel that, man. I got 2 kids, and it's been absolutely impossible to keep up with work and still have time for this stuff. But I'm literally fitting it in between work to keep my brain fresh and to just make sure I'm having fun. Honestly, I don't want my life to just go by and say I worked it all the way through just so I can make money to support my family and keep bills paid and everything. So every now and then, especially for the company, I justify a little purchase that makes it so I can have creative ways to compose new stuff. And Reason is my favorite DAW. I've got a whole bunch of stuff behind me that the green screen is cutting out. But the MC707 is my favorite recent purchase. It's an all-in-one groove box, and you don't even need a computer and can write, full songs on it. So I really, really love that thing. But this is just a must-have item if you're a super nerd, just because the glitchiness that you can get from it so quickly is really insane. So I'm just gonna move forward and make some music with this thing. So soccer. Right? I don't like it. Who said what? Somebody said something to me.
Thought it was.
Oh, I got to do Airbnb. So yeah, in like, I'll do this for like 10 more minutes and just show some stuff. Whatever. I don't even really like that, but I don't have to like it. So I'm just gonna crop it. And I'm gonna save it. And you can name it whatever you want, and it has the auto name function in here as well. So I'll call that Sweltering Rabbit. No, I'll name it something cool. So really weird using the keyboard. They give you these white things to kind of be your guide to help you type quickly, and it's a QWERTY, but it's laid out in squares, so it's just really weird. But kind of like old cell phone vibe or something like that. And whatever, I'll auto name it Homeless Riddle. Ridiculous. So let's get out of here, back into the pattern, and just shut that thing off, right? So the instrument is not loaded up right now. I can go into the sample loader, and I can go to this list, and I can load up what I just put in there, which Homeless Riddle, right? So I can load that to slot 1, and by choosing add next, it'll let me just keep adding stuff. So all this stuff over here is stuff that I've sampled off of the radio recently. Some Ramones.
Prime Minister.
Got like a hard style kick. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I probably won't use that for anything. Classic. Some 80s stuff. Grouchy hand. Got a little. And it also lets you downsample with like bit depth, so you can get some really, really crunchy stuff out of everything on here.
Depressing.
That's the sample I used in the opening track.
All right.
And that one. And yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff that's on here, so I can load up whatever I want. Just go into the 909, I guess. No, I'll go into the 808 because everybody likes a good 808, right? So enter into that. It's going to take a moment to load it up. It takes a little micro SD in the back, which is sweet, so you can just have as much as you want. And I can really quickly go through here and use add next to just load all the stuff that I know I want, which, let's go to the kick, and you can preview all of them. Just hold it down, move it. Right, so add next. And we'll just go down here. Some snares, bring in the snare. Add next. Got the tommies, tommies. Go to highs, we want some close. Add that one. Gotta have the clav. And I'm just gonna willy-nilly add some random stuff here. So we will go back a level, jogging house, melodic one-shots, waves and tones. Let's go into waves and tones and see what we got. I haven't spent a whole lot of time looking through this. Go into tones, load it up, hold it. Sorry if it's too loud. Add in some different tonalities. Should have a bass in there somewhere. Is there like a sub in here somewhere? Add that thing. All too like high pitch. And you can high pass, low pass, or band pass anything. Yeah, I'll have to turn down the volume for the whole thing as I do this browsing. Adventure time. What are they talking about? So I'm going to go into these drums. There's still better stuff in here. I didn't really like that 808 list. That wasn't very good. These are kind of quiet. There we go. These are where the basses are at, and definitely want these. So I'll load in next. load up another kick, because why not? Always nice to add in some sound effects there. So we'll add, and so you can add up to 48, I believe, 48 individual sounds, and you can freak these things out a lot. So the amount of adjustments that you can do is absurd. Let's see. And just being able to do it all in the box is what's so great. Yeah, I want that closed tab. Put that in here. Add next. So I feel like this is enough to work with, and I can go into the song here, pattern rather, and each of these tracks, which there are 8 of them, you can be swapping back and forth between instruments and whatever, because you've got access to all 4 of these things. What note it's playing, which sound it's playing, and what kind of MIDI effect it has on it. And there's this massive list that every time the firmware updates, they add more effects to it, which is really great. And you can have 2 per step. So the amount of, modulation that you can do to any sound it gets really crazy really quickly. But I'll do kind of a basic beat, and it has a really quirky interface where I have to choose which step here, how many steps I want it to jump forward after I edit one of the steps. So if you go to 0, it won't move after you put something into it. If you put it to 1, it will jump to the next one after you put something in. So you can really quickly, dial in like a fast arpeggio or whatever. And if you put it to say 2, it'll automatically move, like jump to every other step. If you set it to 4, it'll be every 4th step. And if you take the actual length all the way up to the max of 128 and you bring the song up to a high BPM, you can basically do normal beats at a really, really fast tempo by saying, insert every 8th step at this really, really fast tempo. And it's like working in a lower time signature, but then what it does is it allows you all those in-between steps to do the really glitchy stuff that we associate with, like, Aphex Twin and Square Pusher and all that. And a lot of that classic music and jungle and breakcore is done with a tracker, some of it anyway. And those concepts, whether they're done in a DAW or a tracker, it's still just like these really, really high intensity fills. So I will go up to the top by holding Shift and hitting Home. And up at the top one here, I'll make sure I'm on a single step. I'm going to do record play to let it do a count in and give me an idea of what this crazy 300 BPM tempo is going to be like. But I should turn the volume up first. Just do this real quick, bring it back to 0. And we will do record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. So one thing I like to do is basically start off with a basic kick pattern. I'll bring the length of the pattern down to something more reasonable. We'll just do 32. It might get a little repetitive. Maybe I'll do 64 just because of the tempo that we're at. And I'll say insert like every 8. So Shift Home. And if I just hold the instrument and go to one of those kicks, which I can preview, should be able to preview, right? The note needs to be put in. And I'm not in record mode, so that's going to be a problem. There it is. So the note's way low. So this is the first hit, right? And I don't want it to be a snare. I want it to be... that's that radio sample. Sounds pretty sick to me, and I can definitely get something really cool out of it. But we'll start off with just the kick, And if I'm in record mode, I can hit copy and I can now paste that anywhere that I want. If I set the step to be 8 and I put that in like so, it'll just jump down 8 and I can keep hitting it. And now every hit is in there. And I can hit play. 1, 2. And if I hit record, it should follow along. 1. Right? So shift home to go back. And the first one is F4, when in fact, I would prefer that it be C5. So one thing that makes the difference between like really computery sounding stuff and more natural sounding stuff is velocity changes. So I can input velocity changes for all of these things randomly by adding an effect that is the volume, right? Because I'll just slightly change the volume of each one. But so there's this really, really cool feature here. If I'm in record mode and I do shift up, it'll select everything in that column, and I can actually fill that column. And I can say fill each step. I'll say each 8th step because that's all we need, right? We don't need every single step. And I'll say I'll fill each 8th step with a random volume between 0 and 33. And if I hit fill, that should do it. And if I hit play, so you already gotta get some dynamics in there, and that's really great for getting like a track going and sounding not like you're just inputting 128 velocity on absolutely everything. 2, 3, 4, right? So you get the point. And now if I want to add in some crazy hats, I could say shift home, shift up to select everything, and I could throw in a shift up, and I could throw in a hi-hat. And I know that we liked one of these in here, hi-hat closed, right? But it's got to have a note. And hit stop real quick. Good. Hit record. And if I say record, fill, I'm going to say fill each with a Dorian scale note between here and here, and with a hi-hat that'll just slightly change the pitch, right? So we can get a little variation in there. And if I say fill in every 8, then that's, you know, not quite enough. So we'll say fill in every 4 just to see what it sounds like. And I'll say fill. Now let's just press play real quick. I get a little something right there. And now we're going to get crazy. I'm going to start adding in, you know, like a bass line, something along those lines. So we're going to add an instrument. And change the note. Too low. So between C6 and between C5 maybe? Let's see. Yeah, between C5 and C6. So if I shift up to select everything there, say fill each. We'll just like try making it weird. We'll say fill every 6th with a random note from C5 to D5, C6 rather, and with Dorian randomly, and we'll say fill. Change that up, and we'll just try that again, because I don't like it. Now I can go into instrument parameters, and for that instrument that's playing right now, I can change a lot about it. I like that. Go into the effects, bring the bit depth. Add some reverb. Okay. Kind of getting there, Yeah. Something like that. Go in a pattern. And so let's add some glitchy boys in there. I can go into the effects column of this, and I can add in something like roll. And what a roll is going to do is it's going to kind of do these squelchy things, right? And as I check these out, lots of cool ones, right? But what I'd like to do is vary between these per step. And the way that I can do that is over here on the second effects thing, I can say random FX value. And if I adjust that, then what it's going to do is every time that that step happens, it will be a randomized thing. So that's a really cool way to get a completely generative sound going. And I'm actually going to now copy these things that I just did here. Shift this thing and this thing, shift up. And I'd like to copy this whole step, I guess. So what's the best way to go about that? I'm going to say shift copy. No, I pasted it. That was a problem. Go to roll again. So still working out the kinks. Looks like I can change this to be 10. There we go. Go back to the effects. I like 4 and I like 6. So let's do fill every other with 4 and 6 randomly. So shift up, go to fill each other step with roll randomly selected between. We liked like R3 and R6, whatever. So I'm just going to do fill. And now let's try hitting play real quick and see what type of madness I just created. Madness, right? So you can adjust them. Madness. Change this sound. So there's a performance mode here that you can start freaking stuff out. You have to be in record to change these things up, sample end, sample position, and then you can Now I can maybe add in some blips and bleeps. Yeah, this is probably not the most interesting thing in the world to someone who doesn't enjoy what's going on here. So let's add in some more radio samples just because that's so fun. Go to the sample recorder.
Or in the six, you know, we
Placenta. I get some really, really weird stuff on here. Let's see if I I can't go over that. That's ridiculous. Placenta falls to the floor. I've been so dad life, dude, like 200% dad life, because I've got two little ones and 2 years apart. So it's like right when one, starts getting all their stuff together, the other one's just figuring their stuff out. And the transition, it's so beautiful. I really couldn't ask for a better life. I'm so happy with my family, my partner, my kids. But yeah, it's definitely been a whole new world. I'm working for Otoy now, my favorite company, and I'm kind of backed away from live event production stuff, at least with the crews that I've worked with in the past. I just got over the stress, the shit pay, bad attitudes, unprofessional. Ever since I walked away from that stuff, I still have FOMO. I see all my friends posting and sharing, these cool shows and how much fun they're having and everything. But I know that there's no pay there. There's no, order or anything. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. So even though the pandemic kind of shut all that down, and now that it's coming back, I'm sure that people are putting in, maybe even a little more effort than they were previously. But I'm already seeing plenty of horror stories, including, anybody that I know that's working on production. They'll send me a little message that say like, hey, guess what fucked up thing happened at this one? And I got so much love for my peoples that like I'm not gonna knock it anymore. It's just a tier below what I can tolerate in my life anymore. So I've been doing just so much, expanding and moving out horizontally, interacting with totally new groups of people, and it's been great. It's really been great. I definitely miss a lot of my friends and all that stuff and the fun nightlife, but I don't miss being constantly stressed out and underpaid and all of that. So yeah, that's where that stuff's at. And I've been basically preparing. Again, it's really hard to see behind me because it's all blanked out, but I got a ton of gear, and I've been setting up basically a AV set for the number 7 and planning to basically organize my own events and move forward that way rather than just grinding and playing shows for next to no people in rooms that can barely, pay you what your time is worth. They ask you to, sleep on a couch or whatever because they can't afford a hotel room, and the money that they promise you isn't there. I've just seen all sides of it, and I'm not going to let that happen to me and my art because I love making music so much. Dude, long walks, that's sick. Like another thing that I realized recently, and I realize this is moving away from the Polyend tracker, but it's my friend asking me about how my life is going. So why aren't I going to talk about it? I've been basically coming to terms with just how much sugar intake I have had on a regular level for such a long period of time. And, you know, I've always been a kind of a depressive person. And the more that I learn about gut health and the microbiome and all that stuff, the more it's just like the food that I've been eating and my lifestyle and my exercise, amounts, they're just not enough to keep me healthy and happy, even if I'm, fit and not sick or whatever, right? There's different levels of wellness. And so exercise has been huge. Eating better has been huge. It's definitely been changing a lot, and I've been starting to get into yoga and that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna tap out and come back in a little later because it seems like I'm getting a call from my partner, and she's a priority. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna mute myself out here, and I'm gonna play some of the tracks that I've made recently. I'm back. Cool. So I'm going to check out some other ones. That's the one that I had started with. I'm going to show 2 or 3 others, and then I'm going to peace out. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Taylor, I am checking this out in the chat right now. I'm seeing where you're at. And dude, I'm glad to hear that you're moving into wellness with your own life. I mean, honestly, diagnoses of any kind are very serious, and I'm so glad that professional help is something that seems beyond us when we are like masters of our own mind. We're like, oh, I got this, I don't need to go see someone. But like, honestly, you talk to professionals and you can really get perspective. And I've tried to move into that myself. I've been I've gone through a few months of therapy during the pandemic to help with kind of my depression and things of that nature, anxiety more so than depression, but they kind of feed off each other. But yeah, so music is a huge catharsis for me, and having something that I can just kind of bust out and make a little beat on is so important to me. And that's why, you know, I invest in myself, even if I've got other things that I'd like to get into as well. I'd say, you know, what am I going to get the most mileage out of, and what gives me the biggest smile on my face? And honestly, something that's like this little portable standalone song making computer is just like right up my alley. So we're going to load up one of the other ones that I made here. We listened to Depressing. Let's listen to Interesting Memory. Auto name is so cool, because I wouldn't have come up with that name for a song. Interesting Memory. Open. Do you want to save the changes? Don't save. Don't want to overwrite my other stuff. I've already written like 2 or 3 really cool beats and somehow cleared them out before I got to save them. So there's a couple of little gotchas with this machine, and you got to be really careful about saving as you go. Let's hear this beat. Nasty. So I've got a random note generator that changes the note every time the measure goes around. And one thing that I've liked doing is changing the tempo a lot. So there is micro timing and swing as well. If you have an OpenFX channel, you can use that. I wish there were more FX channels. I would probably use like 5 of them per track, no problem. But 2 is still pretty cool. Okay, so we get the point of that one. Pretty interesting, but not you know, more of a starting sketch than anything. Got another one of those here. Old-fashioned regret. Let's give that a shot. Don't save. Oh my God, your neighbor has a rooster. I like just hearing my neighbors next door like cough annoys me. I can only imagine. Oh, it's so loud. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Try out another one. And yeah, I'm still exploring this thing and discovering the menus and submenus and different ways to interact with it. But I figure at least someone in my feed or followers is going to see this and be like, all right, now I really want one. So reverb.com is where you can get a used one. You can, you know, keep an eye on it and find something even, below list like I did. Unfortunately, the guy that I bought it off of, I'm pretty sure did not say that it had physical damage on it. So I'm pretty pissed off about that. But luckily, it doesn't work any worse. It just has a big ding in the corner. So, I'll have to deal with that. And I think I can. For $100 savings, yeah, I can deal with that. And plus, you can't even buy it from their website right now. It looks like the large majority of their stuff is out of stock, probably due to the microprocessor shortage or something along those lines. But I really want to pick up the MIDI to CV Poly 2 because that is how I will be able to convert anything that I'm doing on all of my MIDI stuff over to my ARP 2600, which is my new favorite baby. And I'm going to be sharing a walkthrough for that really soon as well. That one will be a little more direct. Dude, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate that. Shares are really important in the world of Twitch. And I kind of gotta get a little more regular with it. I pay for the premium Streamlabs thing, and I have barely been streaming this past like 6 months or more, just because there has been absolutely no time. My kids are pretty much a full-time effort times 2. So yeah, mom and kids are away for the week. For the first time in a very long time, and I'm taking this opportunity to catch up on a bunch of little side projects and to explore the gear that I haven't had the time to explore. So thank you guys for tuning in and checking out with me. I'm going to show 1 or 2 more little beats that I made here, and then I'm going to peace out. Adamant Separation. What's up with this one? Open. Don't save. Boom. Dirty. Fucking funky. My next step is going to be to break out of the loopiness because, as you can see, most of the beats have just kind of been within a single pattern. So I'm going to be getting into record, add slot, and then adjusting the patterns. I'm going to start with trying to basically create A-B patterns for drums with some fills, and then add melodic stuff over that. And I have a couple artists that I'm really into that make music that I think that would be, well suited for producing on this. Copy is one of them, and I'm going to try to make a kind of copy beat next on this. So let's listen to one more track I believe that I've got on here. I could be wrong. Open. And we heard all of them. That was all of them. So just real quick, I guess I'll just make a little beat before I head out. File. I say cancel. New project. Don't save. Really like these clicky little buttons. So now that we're here, we go into our sample loader, and we're just going to willy-nilly add in all types of stuff. Add that thing, add next. Flappy, why not? love these little soft base C. Port. Add next. Import's a totally different thing. Add a little squeaky boy. Add next. FlexLive. Some hats in there. Add next. Another one, add next. Oh, I like these a lot. Short stick. Tambourine. And then we will create a bass out of a sample that I grab off of the recorder.
Define praise.
Use the
Classical.
100. This is the best part about this whole day. September, so you're gonna go crazy. I got what you need. Everybody make you stop, but I got what you need. I got what you need. I got what you need. You need.